collectively, they just had more energy and they needed to win. The Lakers just didn't have any chemistry tonight. It's like you got a Mercedes Benz and you got to put Volkswagen parts in it and try to win the race. It just didn't work tonight.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, it is. You know, the thing about you always try to find sometimes little nuggets, you know, and I like the way LaRavia came out and played. You know, 7 offensive rebounds. That showed that somebody was out there having some energy and some effort. And that's what it came down to, energy, effort, and it comes down to taking good shots. And for me, I know this is a new era and everybody wants to shoot threes. You know, I always preach just get buckets. I think sometimes when you play a team like this, you know, especially with Zubac being out, there's no rim protection. You know, LeBron was taking it to the rack. Why can't other guys take it to the rack? And I feel like sometimes coaches see you say, hey, let's lay off the threes and go to the hole and try to get to the bucket and get fouls play, because that's sometimes how the way to get back in the game. And when they did get back in the game, that's how they did it. So sometimes you got to do that before you get in the hole like they were starting the game off.
All right, let's talk Clippers for a moment. Just their 7th win of the year. It's their first home win since Halloween night. They did not win a home game in November, and it took all the way until December 20th to get it done, and Kawhi Leonard led the way. You talk about being desperate for a win, James. They had lost 5 in a row. Not a lot of good stuff going down around Clipperland, but tonight, Kawhi with 32, and the Clippers hit 16 threes, and they were 19 of 20 from the free throw line.
Yeah, the free throw line.
They did enough to win. The
free throw line helped them a lot, and the 3-ball helped them a lot. But, you know, they're playing against a depleted team. Maybe this would give them some inspiration, but they do have weapons, man. When you have Harden and Kawhi, and you have a legitimate center in Zubac who left the game with the ankle sprain, you know, they can conjure up some chemistry and get back on track, because they have the personnel to do it. It's just a matter if they can collectively get it done.
Yeah, you got guys like, you know, John Collins, who's probably one of the, you know, top picks coming out of the draft, had a good career, and we was the Hawks, and then he went over here to the Jazz, and we remember the Jazz by getting dunked on by Ant-Man. But, you know, tonight was one of those things that he came out, he was very aggressive. He got a couple of steals, he got some rebounds, and he knocked down 2 or 3 from the shot. So there are always sometimes those players you forget about, like a John Collins, that step up in games like this. He had a good game, 17 points, but you still have to find a way to, like, those guys who average 12, you keep them at the average.
Yeah, Brook Lopez, who hasn't done much this year, hits 3 threes, has 11 points, one of those nights. We do need to talk Luka. Luka was struggling there in this game, 12 points, 4 of 13, just 1 for 6 from 3. Was frustrated for most of that first half, but then you could tell limping, and then the leg contusion, we don't see him in the second half, so now your concerns go up even higher.
Yeah, even from the beginning, he just looked a little slow, wasn't hitting those little bunny shots.
Wasn't getting the calls either.
And it looked like he was searching for the calls a lot. He didn't get a few, but I didn't know if the calf was bothering him then or not, but not the typical start for Luka, and hopefully he can adjust and not miss, you know, too many games. But it just didn't seem like he had the energy or the energy in his legs or his body. You know, he missed quite a few short bunnies that he usually hits early in the game. So a little concerned, but hopefully he can.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I think the fact that he was off tonight dictated how he played. He was off tonight, and so he was like, oh man, it ain't my night. And sometimes players can get in the way of themselves. And I think tonight he got in the way of himself by, like, you know, anytime a guy does this, oh, fine, I'm like, dude, just play basketball. Because now it's a mental thing. Just hoop, go out and play hard, and he kind of got in the way of himself. I think next time he needs to just play basketball.
I mentioned to you guys that this Laker team had only 6 games with its starters out of the 26. Told you that in the pregame show, and only 3 games this year with their top 8 rotational guys. As I show you the injury report heading into this game, and it was deep. Rui was out. Mike Trudell talked about this during the broadcast. The hope is that maybe you can get him back by Christmas, but unsure. Hope is that DeAndre Ayton and Austin Reeves can be back by the next game. Gabe Vincent, we think, might be another week. He's out with low back soreness. Marcus Smart twisted his ankle during the game, but remained in it. And then, of course, Luka Doncic did not play in the second half. So the concern now for the Lakers is hopefully you can get some health to go along with this season that, up until tonight, been very good. They are now 19-8. You'll take that all day long. Let's go for a positive. LeBron James. I mean, we mentioned this. We were watching him. He had the effort from the jump. You could tell he had the pep in his step. The legs were under him, and he was good. He was 36 tonight, oldest player to ever do that. He gets a new record every night, 15 of 28. Also hit a few threes, but LeBron was good, very good.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron
got him back in the game.
He's still enjoying playing the game. I think he's probably getting his stamina back, getting his wind back from being out earlier. And with Reeves out, he stepped up and became the number 2 guy. When Luka was out, he just tried to do all he could, to keep the team afloat. Very aggressive, very physical, getting to the cup. Typical LeBron style, Rob.
I just think when you watch LeBron, he's preparing for each and every game. I think about the last game when the guy from the other team tried to get a steal and hit his leg.
Yeah.
Most guys have been out for like 2 weeks, but not LeBron. He went down the next play and dunked. I thought that sometimes those injuries rear their ugly head in the next game, but tonight, it didn't. He still was like it energized him. He went out and played way better, and he was active from the jump street. So to me, that's a good sign. Like I said, this is another nugget that this dude is getting better and better as each game comes along because he's getting in better shape and better basketball, getting that rust off it.
Dirk, you no longer have the record for the oldest guy to ever get 30 points back in 2019 when you were 40 and 294 days old. LeBron did it at 40 and 355 days. Remember, he is turning 41 in a week. Pretty incredible. Time to hear from Coach J.J. Redick, brought to you by your Toyota.
First of all, we saw the Luka out with a left. Was it anything more on that? Did you see what happened on the play?
Don't have any other information. He just came to me at halftime. I saw him hobbling towards the end of the first half. He came to me at halftime, said he couldn't go. That's all I have.
So 4 starters out. You do make that push eventually. Before you get there, kind of what did you see to start the game? And it just shots weren't falling. What was not there that you wanted to see?
Shots going in.
What did you think of the defensive energy level?
Great.
What did happen at least to get things going and make it, I think it was as little as 7 early in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think for 90% of the guys that played tonight, like just an incredible competitive spirit. LeBron led that, but I thought all the guys, again, about 90% of them, they brought it. And we defended at a high level, made it tough on their stars, and after some early non-box outs, I thought we did a better job. Some unlucky bounces in the second half. I thought we did a better job of just pursuing the basketball, getting to 50-50 balls. But yeah, just highly competitive group today, and really proud of them.
I understand you didn't have an update on Luka. Did you guys get a sense for when this happened during the game?
I don't know anything. Yeah, I don't know anything.
Did you notice him kind of in the second quarter?
Sorry, I'll repeat it because you guys weren't in there. Yeah, I saw him limping in the second quarter. He told me at halftime he couldn't go. I don't have any other information.
Do you guys now in the last 2 games have had five technicals, I think, for interactions with officials? Is that something that needs to be addressed with your group?
The overall, the consistency, and it's something I'm going to talk with Byron about tomorrow. The consistency needs to be addressed. That needs to be addressed, and it will be. I mean, I think if any coach, any player, what we ask for is consistency, and that's not to single any official out or any crew out. It's not about that. We need to know what it is night to night. We've had a number, and this is where I get frustrated a little bit, and I keep asking the league to please reach out to me and respond to every time I do the coach's feedback thing. I don't get any response from the league. Nobody ever reaches out to me. The way we do challenges and the definitions of challenges and the definitions of what the X, Y, or Z and why you can or can't, it's different with every different crew. And we're supposed to have the guy at the replay center, whoever's in charge that night, we're supposed to have like some level of consistency, and the definitions just get changed every single night.
Were you under the impression you could challenge the block charge tonight, and were you told that you could and then later told you were not able to? Is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, Josh came to me and said, I don't want you to waste your challenge, but there's a chance that, it's 2 separate plays, which, again, I've seen this happen. Guy, somebody's trying to box a guy out and gets fouled. Somebody goes over the back and there's a clear foul. Ball gets deflected off the defensive team. you should be, I've seen that challenge, and I've seen that work. So it's not two separate plays. The ball is part of the play. The ball got loose because of the charge, and then it was deflected. It's not two separate plays. That's an insane definition. Insane.
The unrelated to that, you guys were 6 for 38 from 3, which I ran some numbers as like an all-time bad shooting game.
Yeah, I was proud that we improved from 4 for 33. So we got better as the game progressed.
2 for 5. Finished on a heater.
40%.
What did you make of LeBron's rhythm? I mean, he's had a couple games like this now in this stretch, and do you think there's something to be taken from that in terms of maybe the next stage of the season he could progress to?
I just look at every game as a singular game. The matchups are different every single game. They played small tonight for most of the game because Zubac wasn't in there. He did a terrific job of driving the basketball. Anytime he had Lopez on him, he beat him up from the perimeter. It was a great game from him.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
I guess it's been like a next man up kind of season so far to this point. And at halftime, Luka goes down, and you're the only starter still out there. How did you still try to rally the troops? Yeah, I think it at one point cut into 7 in the fourth there.
It's just, gotta, no matter what the circumstances is, just still next man up. We're all professionals, and we all got to stay ready. So, obviously very, challenging circumstances for our ball club, tonight. But, at the end of the day, I think we played extremely hard. We followed our keys. We just came up short.
You managed to get a couple threes to fall late. But as a team, obviously, not a lot fell. Do you think is shooting contagious sometimes? Is there anything specifically in tonight's that they didn't go in?
Make shots. That happens throughout the course of the season. We had some great looks, just didn't make shots. But we still, like I said, gave ourselves a chance to be in the game by how well we defended. Our competitive spirit, our competitive nature, and then we just playing hard.
JJ just now has expressed a pretty hearty amount of frustration with the challenge system. I know you've had your issues in the past with the challenge system. I'm just curious, kind of, where's the consistency at right now on a nightly basis, and do you think has that led to any of the team's frustration with officiating?
I don't know. I have no idea where the consistency is. There isn't any consistency, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't know.
Do you feel like that the team has allowed to frustrate you guys? I think you guys have gotten a handful of texts here the last 2 games. I think 5, all for interactions with officials.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been around the interactions when they actually happen. I've seen the aftermath of them. But yeah, I don't know.
There were stretches before you made your season debut where Austin was the guy without you and without Luka, and there was a time where Luka was the guy without Austin, without you. If both those guys aren't in the lineup moving forward for a little bit, not that you necessarily need the reps personally, but just to get the reps with different faces, different guys, can that be good at all to kind of save up those reps?
I mean, it's whatever the game presents itself, we got to be ready for the challenge. It doesn't matter, So the worst thing about sports is injuries. And not just basketball, but sports in general. But you can control the controllables. What we have out there. Who's ever in uniform, we have to go on and execute as at the utmost pace that we can. And then on the other end, we got to defend, be on the string, and help each other out. So that's what it's about.
Have you had a chance to talk to Luka at all since whatever happened?
No.
Did you notice him kind of limping out there in the second quarter?
Yeah.
LeBron, have you had a chance to talk to Chris Paul since the decision they made here? Were you surprised by it at all?
No, I haven't talked to him.
Were you surprised at all how things went down?
Not for me to comment on, to be honest. It's none of my business.
LeBron, looking ahead to next week, Christmas, last year, you talked about how it's still our day. It's obviously important to you. Why is Christmas basketball still so important to you after all these years?
Still important to me?
Yeah. Why does it matter?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a better question. Yeah. I'd much rather be at home with my family. But I mean, it's the game. It's the game I love. It's the game I watched when I was a kid on Christmas Day, watching a lot of the greatest play the game on Christmas. It's always been an honor to play it. Obviously, I'm gonna be completely honest. I would like to be home on the couch with my family all throughout the day. But my number is called. Our number is called, so we have to go out and perform, and we look forward to that.
but on a loss like this, I'm not sure if you're going to the wall. What are you giving us?
I'm laid back
Minimum
like
effort
a
is
dead
what you're
fly.
telling me. Access 360, big shots breakdown.
On this, we're going to show you how the 41-year-old still has it. You know, right here, LeBron's in his patented move. Like what I talked about earlier, him catching the live ball. Right here, you get a little flare pick by Connect. Connect says, okay, you got the ability to shoot the three or go ahead. But now, look, you got the defense running at you. LeBron's too fast. Direct line to the basket for the layup. And this one says you got great, we just showed this great defense by Vando. He's distracted by Vando, and LeBron with the IQ and the smart saying, you know what, I see an opportunity to get a steal. You got your head down, bad play by the defense, the offensive player, but great play by the defensive player and said, oh, you distracted. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the easiest 2 buckets to the night. Now, you got a little pick and roll situation where LeBron can set the pick and roll for Mr. Smart, but he said, you know what, you setting up for that, I'm gonna just go backdoor. You got a great pass by Mr. Smart, goes in for the left-hand layup. Now I got almost like a same position. Now I'm gonna drive baseline, kick it to Smart. Smart 0 for 15 tonight from 3. I'm kidding, I think it was 0 for 9. Right now I get back LeBron, I'm going to post-up move. And you know what? LeBron is a historian of basketball. He says, who can I look like? I did a dunk like Kobe. So you know what? I'm gonna look like Magic versus the Celtics.
That was the exact shot.
Little baby hook. Right there, LeBron showing you all the skill sets that he has from passing, rebounding, stealing, dunking. Just do it all. Just do it all.
With LeBron I know we've been saying this, but he's looking like LeBron James coming into form here in his 23rd season. If this team can find some health, consistency in that regard, James, with, the rotational guys that are going to be out there, LeBron playing like this, it'd be fun to see.
Hell yeah. They get everybody back healthy. Rui, Austin, Ayton, and so that everyone can play their particular roles. And guys who are used to coming off the bench and filling in, you get used to that. And, like you said, they've had so many different starting lineups that it's hard to kind of keep that consistency going with your bench players and guys who are role players. But when they get healthy, Gator, and LeBron is able to stay in this same mode of off ball and not having to carry the load, he's going to be extremely effective because you have another Hall of Famer out there just waiting for you to call on him when you need him. You got Luka, you got Austin, you got other guys, but you still got the king.
Yeah, I think also when you get those 2 guys back, when you have guys that are dynamic scorers, it makes it so much easier because you can't guard everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to guard AR, Luka, LeBron. So they feed off each other so great, and so that makes it easier for everybody.
Only 6 games with the starters. Does that concern you a little bit, Rob, just in terms of continuity?
Not at all.
Not too much.
I think, sometimes injuries happen, but if you look at how the Lakers been playing, you plug and play. They've been plugging in people and playing very well. So you say, okay, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. When they get everybody back, they're going to be playing well together. And so you got to keep hope alive. This team is very good defense. They're getting very good. They still got some little issues they need to work out. But with Vando back in the lineup and with Smart in the lineup and the way Vando's playing offensively, I have no problems with the way they're playing right now.
A season-low 12 points from Luka tonight. Marcus Smart with Mike Trudell.
Marcus, LeBron was just saying that, look, sometimes shots don't fall, and clearly that was and kind of impacted the whole team. Is all you can do just try to fight back on defense and see if you can make it a game?
Yeah, it's nice like this. It's part of the game. You just got to find a way to put the ball in the hoop. That means, putting more pressure on the defense to get a stop. Or just find a way. But there's games that happens. It's part of the game. You got to be able to move on. Can't get too high, can't get too low.
You need any extra ice packs when you take that many charges in one game?
For sure do. I got the wind knocked out of me on the Kawhi charge. But that's what I do. That's who I am. I sacrifice my body for the betterment of the team, my teammates. But I'll be all right.
You get used to it from your brothers when you're growing up?
Of course. Constantly. You're the youngest one. You definitely take a lot of beatings, and you got to figure out how to, stop them from doing it and defend yourself. So you get creative.
When Luka goes out, do you feel the necessary thing to be more offensive oriented? Because you don't have him, you got one of the other guys on as well.
I wouldn't say more. I'd just say more detailed on the offensive end. Luka's so talented in the way that he creates not only for others but for himself. that we have to, we have to be a little more detailed out there, play together. It's not going to be as much one-on-ones, moving the ball and just taking advantage of what the defense has given us. Tonight we just didn't make shots, but, I think we did, overall, we did a good job with that. We just didn't hit shots.
When we spoke with JJ, asked about the officiating, replays, he mentioned the lack of consistency as something that's frustrating. And within the context, you guys have picked up, I think, 5 technical fouls between tonight and Utah. I think you've had a couple of them. Is that what's kind of boiling over in these moments?
It's just the consistency. We understand that no one, not us, not the officials are perfect. We don't expect you guys to be. We don't expect them to be. We just expect consistency, and that's it. And that's the biggest part for I think any player in this league when you're talking about officiating is consistency, because we understand that they can't see everything. They are human, but it's the consistent ones where you telling us you don't see this one on this end, but the exact same play, you in the exact same spot, you see it on that end. It's just like all we want is consistency.
As part of the frustration, he also mentioned that he's not getting a lot of feedback, like as a coach, from the refs or whatever. Where's the communication?
You can't talk to him. You can't talk to him. You try to, and it's funny because even in the Utah game, I went up at the beginning of the game to be a captain. The captains should be able to come talk to them. They still don't want to hear it. So, control what you can control. If they don't want to talk, you try and you move on. But it definitely is frustrating when you pour your heart out to this game, and the feedback is literally waving you off, telling you to get out your face, and then giving you a tech because you asked them a simple question. So, hopefully they can get it together. But it's definitely something that, as a whole, we are as players frustrated with.
Marcus, on that note, how do you wrap your head around that issue? And then, they fine you after the incident yesterday's game.
Sometimes you got to take the hit to get your point across, and that's what it is. They're going to fine you regardless. So, and at this point, it's like, what's the point of us calling to talk about a situation when you're just going to have your mind made up already? So it's like, why even talk to you guys?
Let's talk a little Marcus Smart. Listen, he had been great offensively, which is always a bonus, right, because he is the defensive leader on that team. Just 1 for 12 tonight, 0 for 9 from 3, Rob, one of those nights. But also talking about the frustrations, and JJ mentioned this too, the technical fouls, the review process. But then Marcus talking about, like, hey, as a captain, I should be able to at least talk to these guys, but their mind's made up. And there's sometimes, I know it's frustrating for players.
It can get frustrating, and plus when refs already have their mind made up about certain players, and when you approach them, they already looking at you cross-eyed, like, hey, why are you coming at me? And I think as a captain, you have the right to go over to, especially if you don't be demonstrative in your emotions, you go to try to talk to them one-on-one. They should be able to do that, and most refs can get caught up in the moment, then get caught up in the heat of the moment, and say, as soon as they come to approach them, like, no, I'm not ready. I remember in my career, a lot of refs will do this to you. Don't talk to me right now. I'm like, don't talk to you. I says, that's why you out here, right? Because I want to know what happened on that play. But you can't get caught up in emotions and get caught up in your feelings like a lot of players and refs do. You need to say, okay, take a breath. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it used to be, I played, Rob first started out. Referees they were approachable, but now you got to really plan how you're going to talk to a referee. And I don't think it can be right away. I think you got to catch a referee out of a timeout when no one's watching. TV cameras, and you just kind of go over to them and have bow down to them. But otherwise, they're really quick to call a tech. And, I hate that don't talk to me kind of thing, because we're all on the court together, and players communicate with one another. And it's the same thing with the referee. You want to know how you're supposed to play or what you can do based on some of their inconsistencies, like calling the play down here, but don't call the same play down there. You go to the replay, it's just it's just inconsistent. It's frustrating for players not to be able to, talk to a referee and he gives you the hand. You want to smack that hand down. You know what I mean? Talk to me, brother.
You want to, but you better not.
Do you know who the sensitive ones are?
Who?
I'm saying, did you know who the sensitive refs were and who the ones that weren't?
You do. You
kind of learn?
Yeah, because when you look at certain veteran referees, you can say, okay, I can talk to him. But then you have certain veteran referees where like, oh, he's a quick whistle. You know what. And so you would just like look at him He said, what kind of move? And you say, how you feeling tonight? And he looks at you cross-eyed. You're like, oh, he ain't talking to him tonight. You just got to know your personnel.
Yeah. All right, coming up.
At North Carolina used to win all that game, ran a four-corner spread, and then next thing you know, the time runs out. They done won 12-10, you know, something like that. You got to keep playing basketball.
I hated it, Rob. I hated the four corners, man. We had a score like 12-6 one time. But, yeah, I mean, Dillon Brooks is a great player.
Yeah.
And he's gotten better with his offense.
Yep.
If he's just move away from the tactics, I mean, everybody knows you're kind of a bully. You don't have to keep proving it every game that you are.
Yeah.
You go out, you play the game hard and play tough and do it that way. All the antics need to stop because he's a really good, much improved player. If he could just move away from the bully ball before somebody gets one of those teeth. Somebody will get one of those teeth one time.
Must see TV. All right. Jake LaRavia with Mike Trudell.
That's right.
With so many different combinations out there, is there any challenge in being in kind of different spots and trying to find a rhythm, or did you think it was just simply shots weren't going in regardless of how they presented themselves?
Yes and no. I feel like everyone knows what's expected of them when they go out and step on a court, you know, regardless of being down bodies or, you know, whatever situation goes out on the court. We're all NBA players, so we know what's asked of us when we go out there on the court. We just didn't hit shots tonight. I mean, that's really what it was. We're 6 for 38 from 3, 14. We missed 7 free throws. Tough to win basketball games like that. I thought we played really, really hard. But yeah, shots just were not falling.
How have you handled, and I guess you individually, but just the variance of the lineups and the rotations, and what's the challenge, and what can you take moving forward, having now played with all of these different combinations so far?
I really don't care. I think I'm a very adaptable player. I think we do have a lot of lineups that succeed. Like a lot of variation of lineups that play well together. So when nights like this happens, for me, like I feel like I'm just going out there and I'm going to try and do the same thing every time I'm out there. Be a little more, a bit more aggressive, especially in a game like this where Luka went out. But yeah, for the most part, it stays the same.
Obviously, you just told us like you're adaptable in your mentality, and obviously your play. I think you've played in every game for the team, so you've played with everybody. But when you lose 4 starters, just what's kind of like the group mentality in terms of trying to get through this period of time, however long it might be?
Yeah, it just becomes an effort offense, effort defense game. You're losing Luka, who obviously is averaging a lot of points. Austin averaging a lot of points. Rui's out, averaging a good amount of points. Gabe, we're down bodies. So, yeah, DeAndre. So just that next man up mentality, like I said, it's kind of just expected of the rest of the guys. And I think we have that group. Like we played really hard tonight, and I think we would have won had we made just a couple shots. Didn't happen tonight.
And then the old head himself, Kevin Durant, still putting up numbers. That's efficient right there. 31 points on 8 of 14 shooting.
Big game, James, is impactors. Guys who impact winning.
Oh, give me one, Laker. Come on.
Jared McCain's on there, plus 29 tonight, James. For Philly.
Yeah, a promising talent in Jared McCain, man. That's a plus 29. Thompson, we've seen his phenomenal play. 3 steals, Geeter.
Yeah, Derek Queen's a good little player out of there in New Orleans. Will Richard, 4 for 4 from 3. Who? That's Andrew Miller, who does these graphics. He's a Warriors fan, so he's looking at that kind of stuff.
They go Willie.
He knows what he's doing.
I don't think I even heard of Willie.
Willie.
Sweet Willie Richard.
Call him Willie Richard.
4 for 4 from 3, 20 points. As Miller's Warriors beat Bergen's Suns.
They beat the Phoenix Suns. They ain't beat nobody. Beat some competition.
We'll wrap it up next. Look ahead to Tuesday's rematch with Bergen's Suns.